Chosen one, listen up, because this moment right here is not random, it's not an accident, it's not just another video playing in the background. Nah, this is a divine interruption, a heavenly tap on your shoulder, a straight-up wake-up call from God saying, hey, I'm about to flip your whole situation, so stay locked in. Before we dive deep, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on that bell, because when God is preparing you for a sudden reversal, you don't want to miss a single word He drops in your spirit. Chosen one, tonight carries weight, real weight, that kind of spiritual heaviness that doesn't burden you, it transforms you. And even if you can't explain it, even if it feels weird, even if you've been exhausted, stressed, confused, or feeling like you've been walking through fire with no water in sight, God wants you to know this: you are not losing, you are not behind, you are not forgotten. You're being aligned for something bigger than you think. And if your heart's been restless, if your soul's been whispering things you don't fully understand, if your dreams have been louder, sharper, or straight up strange, that's because heaven has been rearranging things behind the scenes for your breakthrough. Let me tell you something real. God doesn't ask you to wait because He's trying to punish you. He asks you to wait because the blessing He's preparing needs to be built with eternal materials, not cheap quick fixes. You don't slap together a palace with straw. You don't forge a sword without fire, and you don't build a warrior without some nights that feel like battles. And I know you've been in a season where it looked like nothing was changing, nothing was moving, and everyone else seemed to be sprinting while you were stuck in place, watching opportunities fall through like sand slipping through your hands. But hear me, the delay wasn't denial, it was preparation. The struggle wasn't punishment, it was shaping. The silence wasn't abandonment, it was positioning. God has been studying every detail of your journey. The tears nobody saw, the prayers whispered from the floor at 2 a.m., the nights you said, Lord, I don't know how much more I can take, and yet you kept going anyway. That right there is the evidence you're chosen. That right there is the energy of someone heaven refuses to let fall. And tonight, something shifts. I can feel it for you like electricity in the air. You ever feel a storm coming before you hear thunder? That's what's happening spiritually. But this time, the storm isn't coming to drown you, it's coming to wash away everything blocking your blessing. God said the first shall be last, and the last shall be first, and you're about to see that scripture unfold in real life, because the season where you were overlooked, underestimated, ignored, pushed aside, and counted out was not a season of failure. It was a season of hidden development. God hides His strongest warriors. He hides His most powerful leaders. He hides His chosen ones until the moment when revealing them shifts everything. And tonight, that revealing begins. Let me bring you into a story, because I need you to feel this deep, deeper than just the words in your ears. I need your soul to catch this. There was a man who worked his whole life for a breakthrough. Every day he pushed, every day he believed, every day he told himself, maybe tomorrow. And tomorrow kept coming with no change. People around him laughed. They moved on. They told him to give up, that he was dreaming too big, that nothing was going to shift for him. One night he cried out to God like he never had before, Lord, if you still hear me, give me a sign. And that night something changed, not outside him, but inside him. A fire clicked on, a certainty, a heaviness that said, don't stop now. Days later, a door swung open so fast it made every year of waiting make sense. God didn't just bless him, He reversed everything in one moment. Everything that was working against him snapped into alignment. Everything that seemed impossible flipped in his favor. And God told me to tell you, you are next. This is the energy hovering over your life right now. This is the spiritual atmosphere around you tonight. And I need you to stay awake to it, because God moves through awareness. He moves through those who are listening. He moves through those who haven't let the world harden their heart. The Bible says, and here's your verse, chosen one, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. You've heard it before, but tonight it hits different, because this isn't a verse. It's a confirmation, a prophetic stamp that God is stepping in. Not next month, not next year, tonight. You're stepping into a reversal so sudden it's going to look like a plot twist. Like one of those moments where people who doubted you suddenly get real quiet, real humble, real curious about how you made it through what should have broken you. And let me tell you, you didn't survive because you're lucky, you survived because you're chosen. Because when God marks you, when heaven puts its fingerprint on your life, you can walk through hell and still come out carrying glory. And that's exactly what's happening right now. You're stepping out of a season that tried to crush you into a season that's about to crown you. And I know that sounds dramatic, but chosen ones don't live regular lives. They live lives where everything feels amplified, deeper, heavier, more intense, because your calling isn't basic, it's built different. And yeah, you've been tired, not just physically tired, but soul tired. That deep exhaustion where your spirit feels worn thin, where you're like, God, I'm doing everything I can. I'm fighting battles nobody even knows about, and I'm still waiting for something to break. But that's exactly how it feels right before God flips the script. That heaviness you've been feeling lately, that's not depression, that's not anxiety, that's not hopelessness, that's spiritual labor. That's the pressure right before manifestation. That's the weight that hits your spirit before God gives birth to something new inside you. And listen, chosen one, God doesn't let you go through this type of pressure unless something massive is about to hit your life. You think all these attacks have been random? Nah, they've been coordinated. Not by God, but by the enemy who sees what's coming before you do. The enemy always attacks hardest right before the shift. And lately you've been dealing with attacks that don't even make sense. Random frustration, random fear, random loneliness, random setbacks, people switching up, plans falling through, doors closing for no reason, opportunities disappearing. You thinking you're cursed when in reality you're being protected from what was too small for your destiny. This is the season where God said no more crumbs, no more bare minimum, no more draining friendships, no more low standards, no more cycles, no more settling. You're stepping into a reversal that requires you to leave behind everything that couldn't carry the weight of where you're going. And it's wild, because sometimes God isolates you to elevate you. Sometimes He pulls people away not because they're bad, but because they can't go where you're going. Sometimes you're forced into loneliness because your assignment requires clarity, and you can't hear heaven clearly when you're surrounded by noise. But don't get it twisted. You're not alone. God has been closer to you in this quiet season than He's ever been. You may not have felt Him, but He's been moving, working, shifting, protecting, redirecting things you were praying for because He knew they would disappoint you, delaying things you were begging for because He knew they weren't ready, removing people you loved because they were secretly slowing your spirit down. And the crazy part? Years from now, you'll look back and say, thank God it didn't work out. Thank God they left. Thank God I didn't get that job. Thank God I didn't marry that person. Thank God for every no, because every no was steering you toward tonight, this turning point, this moment where everything that didn't make sense begins to make sense, where every tear you cried becomes a seed of harvest, where every rejection becomes redirection, where every loss becomes leverage for what God is about to release. You're not stepping into just another chapter, you're stepping into a divine plot twist. And trust me, it's going to be so sudden, so unexpected, so God-level supernatural that even you won't fully process it at first. You'll be like, hold up, what just happened? How did everything shift so fast? And God will whisper, because when I move suddenly. That word suddenly is all over your life right now. Suddenly the stress lifts. Suddenly the door opens. Suddenly the money comes. Suddenly the opportunity appears. Suddenly the connection is made. Suddenly the healing happens. Suddenly the breakthrough hits. Suddenly everything you've been praying for starts lining up with ridiculous speed. And hear me, it's not luck, it's alignment. It's not coincidence, it's timing. It's not magic, it's manifestation through obedience, faith, and favor that has been building for years. You've been sowing silently, and God is about to bless you loudly. You've been walking through the valley privately, and God is about to elevate you publicly. You've been fighting battles in the dark, and God is about to reward you in the light. And when this reversal happens, it won't just change your circumstances, it'll change you. You'll walk different, talk different, move different. You'll stop apologizing for being chosen. You'll stop shrinking yourself to make other people comfortable. You'll stop doubting what God put inside you. You'll stop letting fear talk you out of faith. And the same people who doubted
doubted you, ignored you, or treated you like you were nothing will wish they had treated you better, because God is about to put you in a position where your success speaks louder than your explanations ever could. That's the type of reversal we're talking about. That's the type of blessing God is orchestrating. You're not just entering a new season, you're entering a new identity, a new level, a new mindset, a new confidence, a new spiritual authority. You're stepping into the version of yourself that God always saw, even when you didn't. And tonight,
Because God has a way of flipping the script at the exact moment when you feel like giving up. And Chosen One, I know you've had days recently where you told yourself, man, I can't keep doing this. I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of bouncing back. I'm tired of waiting on something I can't see. But let me tell you something straight. Your exhaustion is not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're transitioning. And transitions always feel heavy because your spirit is outgrowing the space your life is currently in. Just like shoes that suddenly feel too tight when you're hitting a growth spurt. That's you right now. Your soul is stretching. Your purpose is expanding. Your anointing is leveling up. And the environment you've been surviving in can't contain what God is about to do in you. That's why you feel uncomfortable. That's why people don't resonate with you like they used to. That's why conversations feel draining, why old habits don't satisfy you, why old patterns feel wrong, why old relationships feel shallow. God is disconnecting you from the old before he releases the new. It's like he's unplugging your spirit from everything that was stealing your energy, because you're going to need all that power for where he's taking you next. And listen, the sudden reversal coming your way won't be subtle. It'll be loud, undeniable, and impossible to ignore. Even your haters will have to admit, yeah, God did that. Even the people who never apologized, never supported you, never believed in you will be shocked when they see the blessing that lands in your lap. But understand this, God isn't blessing you to impress them. He's blessing you because you stayed faithful in a season that was designed to break you. You kept praying, you kept hoping, you kept trying, you kept believing, you kept showing up, even when you felt invisible. And that's why heaven is stepping in. God said, enough. My child has suffered long enough, and now you're entering your payback season. Not revenge against people, but restoration from God. Everything you lost, everything you cried over, everything you were robbed of, everything that slipped through your fingers because the timing wasn't right, God is about to replace, restore, replenish, multiply, and elevate in ways that will leave you speechless. This isn't about luck. This isn't about chance. This is about divine justice. And let me break this down so clearly you can feel it in your chest. God never allows loss without planning an upgrade. He never allows heartbreak without preparing healing. He never allows rejection without setting up redirection. He never allows an ending without already writing a beginning. You're not at the end, you're at the turning point. And the turning point always feels like chaos. It always feels like confusion. It always feels like something is shifting inside you, but you can't put words to it. If you've been feeling emotionally sensitive, spiritually alert, mentally stretched, physically tired, or unusually reflective lately, congratulations, that means God is pulling you forward. He's detaching you from what's beneath you so he can attach you to what's ahead of you. And Chosen One, I know sometimes you ask, God, why me? Why does everything hit me harder than it hits other people? Why do I feel everything in my spirit? Why do I sense things before they happen? Why do I carry so much emotional weight? Because you're chosen. Your spirit is wired differently. Your intuition is sharper. Your discernment is stronger. Your assignments are heavier. God gives his strongest revelations to his most spiritually sensitive warriors. You feel more because you're meant to lead more. You carry more because you're meant to influence more. You endure more because your calling impacts more. And don't trip, this calling ain't cheap. It costs something. It costs comfort. It costs relationships. It costs peace sometimes. It costs your old self. But what God is giving you in return? Overflow, authority, protection, purpose, favor, doors you didn't even knock on, opportunities you didn't chase, breakthroughs that hit out of nowhere. And let me say this clearly with all the confidence I've got. Nobody can block what's coming for you. Not a person, not a hater, not a boss, not a situation, not an algorithm, not a demon, not a season. When God says it's time, everything that was working against you has to work for you. That's the reversal. Everything that pushed you down becomes the platform that lifts you up. Everything that hurt you becomes the lesson that strengthens you. Everything that left your life becomes the space God fills with something better. And everything that was delayed gets delivered at the exact moment you're ready for it. You're stepping into that moment right now. This is your shift. This is your breakthrough. This is your night.
Because when God decides to move in your life,
He doesn't tiptoe in. He steps in with full authority, rearranging everything that once felt stuck. And chosen one, you're about to witness that divine rearrangement in real time, the kind that feels like your whole life is being rewritten right in front of your eyes. And I need you to understand this. What's coming isn't just a blessing. It's a confirmation that every sleepless night, every broken moment, every closed door, every setback, every disappointment, every time you questioned your worth, every time you wondered if God still remembered you, all of it had purpose. All of it was positioning you. All of it was molding your character and strengthening your spirit so you would be able to handle the magnitude of what's about to hit your life. See, people think blessings are just about receiving something, but real blessings require capacity, maturity, stability, and spiritual sensitivity. And you've been developed quietly so God can elevate you loudly. And let's be real, chosen one. You learned things the hard way. You learned who to trust and who not to trust. You learned that people can smile at you and still betray you. You learned that not everyone who claps for you is happy for you. You learned that loyalty is rare, peace is sacred, and isolation is sometimes the best teacher. But through all of that, you also learned strength, resilience, discernment, intuition, and faith. You learned how to pray from a deeper place. You learned how to rely on God when everything else failed. You learned how to pick yourself back up when nobody was there to help you. And that right there is why the reversal is coming. Because you have the character to carry the blessing now. You have the wisdom to steward it. You have the humility to appreciate it. You have the strength to protect it. And trust me, God doesn't elevate you until your character matches your calling. You've done the internal work, even if you didn't realize it. God has been pruning you, healing you, sharpening you, stripping away insecurities you didn't even know were holding you back, and now you're standing at the edge of a brand new season, one that looks nothing like the pain you came out of. And listen, this reversal won't just fix one area of your life. It's going to hit multiple areas at once. Financial doors opening, emotional healing hitting, spiritual clarity increasing, opportunities flowing, relationships improving, confidence rising, creativity unlocking, doors you thought were dead suddenly swinging open like they were waiting for you this whole time. And I know some of you have been like, God, I'm tired of starting over. I'm tired of rebuilding. I'm tired of trying again. But hear me, you're not starting over from scratch. You're starting over from experience. And experience is what accelerates your blessing. This time you're wiser. This time you're stronger. This time you're not desperate. You're discerning. This time you're not chasing people. You're chasing purpose. And that version of you, that's the version God has been waiting on. That's the version heaven celebrates. That's the version demons fear. That's the version that attracts miracles, breakthroughs, and opportunities you couldn't have handled before. And listen, chosen one, no matter how many delays you faced, God is saying you're right on time. Nothing you've been through disqualified you. It prepared you. Nothing you lost ruined you. It refined you. Nothing that failed destroyed you. It developed you. And nothing the enemy sent succeeded. It strengthened you. You're stepping into a season where everything that felt unfair is going to be redeemed, where everything that felt confusing is going to make sense, where everything that felt delayed is going to be delivered swiftly. And yeah, you might feel nervous, you might feel unprepared, you might feel like your life has been too chaotic for something good to happen, but that's exactly when God moves the most, in the middle of what feels impossible. See, we have this idea that God only blesses us when everything is in order, when everything is peaceful, when everything is organized, but sometimes the biggest miracles hit in the messiest seasons. God doesn't need perfect conditions to bless you. He just needs your heart open. He just needs your faith active. He just needs you willing to take the next step even when you can't see the whole path. And chosen one, you've been doing exactly that, even without realizing it. Every time you didn't give up, that was faith. Every time you wiped your tears and kept going, that was faith. Every time you fought a battle silently instead of letting it break you, that was faith. Every time you trusted God when nothing made sense, that was faith. And that faith is what activated the reversal. Heaven responds to faith. Heaven rewards faith. Heaven amplifies faith. And your faith has reached the level where God is saying, now watch what I can do. You're walking into the kind of blessing that makes people say, how did that happen so fast? You're stepping into a season that doesn't match your struggle, it exceeds it. You're entering a chapter that doesn't reflect your pain, it reverses it. And tonight is the threshold.
Because you're not just hearing this message, you're feeling it. And that's how you know it's spiritual. That tug in your chest, that fire in your gut, that sense that something is shifting, even though nothing around you has changed yet. That's God preparing your spirit for what your eyes are about to see. And chosen one, let me tell you right now, what's coming is going to hit your life with shock value. The good kind, the kind that leaves you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. saying, God, you really did that for me? The kind of breakthrough you don't have to force, manipulate, beg for, or chase. The kind that slides into your life effortlessly because it was always meant for you. And listen, you've chased enough in your life. You've poured into people who never poured back. You've invested in situations that drained you. You've forgiven people who never apologized. You've shown up for people who disappeared when you needed them most. You've been strong for everyone else while carrying the weight of your own battles. And God saw all of that. You didn't go unnoticed. You didn't get overlooked in heaven. Every moment of loyalty, love, patience, faith, forgiveness, and sacrifice was recorded. And now you're stepping into the season where God says, my turn. God is about to show up in your life in ways that loud, in ways that undeniable, in ways that even the people who never believed in you will have to admit something supernatural happened. And chosen one, you deserve it. The peace that's coming, the clarity that's coming, the success that's coming, the stability that's coming, the joy that's coming, the opportunities that are coming. They're not random. They're rewards for the seeds you planted in seasons of pain. You watered dreams while your heart was breaking. You believed when everything told you to quit. You hoped when hope didn't make sense. And let me tell you something real. God honors that kind of spirit. God accelerates that kind of heart. God protects that kind of soul. And speaking of protection, I need you to understand something that's going to make your whole perspective shift. Do you realize how many things God protected you from that you didn't even know about? How many people had wrong intentions but couldn't get close enough to harm you? How many mistakes you almost made but God blocked at the last minute? How many situations you wanted so badly that would have destroyed you if God had said yes? How many connections He shut down because they were poison dressed as blessings? You didn't lose anything that was meant for your destiny. You only lost what would have drained your future. And I know it hurt. I know it felt confusing. I know you questioned it, but now you're about to see why God removed what He did. You're about to see why certain things had to fall apart. You're about to see why you had to walk alone, why they turned your back on you, why things didn't go the way you planned. God wasn't rejecting you, He was redirecting you. He wasn't punishing you, He was protecting you. He wasn't abandoning you, He was upgrading you. And chosen one, the upgrade is here. You're stepping into a season where everything that once worked against you is about to start working for you. Doors that were locked are opening, opportunities that vanished are returning, people who overlooked you are watching, blessings that felt distant are coming closer. And it won't be slow, it'll be sudden, like a floodgate bursting open, like a momentum that hits out of nowhere, like a wave you didn't even see coming washing over your entire life. And I know you might be saying, but God, I'm not ready, or I don't have everything figured out yet, but let me drop this truth on you. God doesn't need you to be ready. He needs you to be willing. God doesn't need you to have it all together. He needs you to trust Him. God doesn't need your perfection. He needs your obedience. And chosen one, you've been obedient even without realizing it. Every time you refused to give up, that was obedience. Every time you kept your heart soft in a cold world, that was obedience. Every time you chose faith over fear, that was obedience. Every time you said, Lord, help me, instead of quitting, that was obedience. And God is saying, because you've been faithful with little, I'm about to give you much. This is the part of the story where everything turns in your favor. This is the plot twist. This is the divine reversal. This is where your waiting turns into winning. Your pain turns into power. Your confusion turns into clarity. Your loss turns into legacy. And your battles turn into blessings. You're not stepping into a small shift. You're stepping into a supernatural upgrade. And tonight is the doorway, because what God is about to release into your life
isn't something you're going to tiptoe into. It's something you're going to walk into with boldness, with confidence, with that quiet kind of power that comes from knowing heaven has your back. And chosen one, this is where everything you've been carrying, everything you've been feeling, everything you've been sensing starts to make sense, because you're not crazy. You're not imagining the shift. You're not overthinking. Your spirit is picking up on what's already happening in the unseen. See, blessings don't start when you see them. Blessings start when God speaks them. And heaven already declared your reversal long before you heard this message. That's why you've been restless. That's why you've been introspective. That's why you felt like you're standing on the edge of something, even though you can't explain it. It's like your soul knows before your mind does. Your spirit is ahead of your reality, already stepping into rooms your body hasn't entered yet, already touching blessings your hands haven't held yet, already living in breakthroughs your mind hasn't processed yet. And that's why everything feels so intense right now. You're in spiritual transition, and transitions always feel like shaking, not to destroy you, but to prepare you, to loosen the attachments you've outgrown, to remove the weight you can't carry into the next season, to break every chain that's been slowing you down. God is saying you can't go into your reversal still tied to who you used to be. And that's real, because some parts of you were never meant to survive the journey. The fear had to go. The doubt had to go. The insecurity had to go. The people-pleasing had to go. The trauma responses had to go. The guilt had to go. The shame had to go. The version of you that apologized for taking up space had to go. And let me tell you something powerful. You didn't lose your old self. You evolved out of it. You grew. You shifted. You stretched. You upgraded. You're not who you were, and you should be proud of that. You should be proud of the strength you built, the wisdom you earned, the resilience you gained, the faith you forged through fire. You came out of battles you were never supposed to survive. And you didn't just survive, you came out wiser, stronger, deeper, better. And because of that, God is about to trust you with blessings that match the weight of your growth. This is why your reversal isn't going to be small. It's going to be significant, substantial, undeniable. People will see it. People will talk about it. People will wonder how you went from overlooked to elevated, from stressed to blessed, from broken to becoming a whole problem in the spirit realm. And listen, chosen one, don't downplay what God is doing in your life. Don't shrink. Don't water yourself down. Don't act like what you carry isn't powerful. God didn't put all this fire inside you for you to whisper your way through life. He gave you that fire so you'd walk with authority, so you'd step boldly into the room, so you'd claim what's yours without hesitation. And speaking of hesitation, this reversal isn't going to require you to fight for it. Just align with it. God isn't asking you to push. He's asking you to receive. He's not asking you to hustle and panic. He's asking you to move in peace. He's not asking you to stress. He's asking you to trust. And chosen one, trust is exactly what got you here. Even when your faith felt small, it was still faith. Even when you doubted, you still prayed. Even when you felt weak, you still reached for God. Even when you felt unworthy, you still believed in the possibility of better. And God is saying, because you trusted me in the dark, I'm about to bless you in the light. Some of you have no idea how close you are. You think you're far because your emotions are loud, but your breakthrough is closer than your fear wants you to believe. You're not in the valley anymore. You're on the incline. You're not drowning. You're being lifted. You're not being ignored. You're being positioned. You're not stuck. You're being prepared. And let me say something real bold. The enemy is terrified of what's about to happen in your life. He's been attacking you not because you're weak, but because you're close. Close to the blessing. Close to the opportunity. Close to the healing. Close to the elevation. Close to the financial breakthrough, close to the purpose you were born for. And when the enemy senses proximity, he launches panic. That's why the attacks came out of nowhere. That's why the anxiety flared up. That's why you felt pressure out of nowhere. That's why people switched up on you. That's why old wounds resurfaced. Because right before the reversal, everything tries to pull you backwards. But chosen one, guess what? You didn't fold. You didn't break. You didn't quit. You didn't turn around. You kept moving forward, even when your legs were shaking, even when your heart was heavy, even when your spirit was tired. And because of that, heaven has declared It begins tonight. And listen, chosen one, if your heart is beating a little faster right now, if something inside you feels like it's waking up, that's not coincidence, that's not hype, that's not me trying to sound deep, that's your spirit recognizing truth. Because deep down, you already know God has been shifting things behind the scenes, even when the surface of your life looked silent or even chaotic. And tonight, that shift gets loud. Tonight, that shift becomes visible. Tonight, the stuff that was held back starts breaking loose like a dam that can't hold the pressure anymore. And I'm telling you, you're closer than you think, you're stronger than you feel, and you're more prepared than your insecurities have allowed you to believe. Because everything you've been battling lately wasn't God trying to break you, it was God trying to build the version of you that's capable of carrying the next level. And yeah, I know you've had nights where you were like, Lord, what is happening? Why does it feel like everything is hitting me at once? But every time you survived something you thought was going to finish you, heaven was marking another check on the list of proof that you are chosen, protected, and equipped. And now that the spiritual pressure has reached its peak, the spiritual reversal starts unfolding. And it's wild how God loves using the exact things that were supposed to ruin you as the very things that launch you. And I'm telling you right now, don't underestimate what God can do in one night. Don't underestimate what he can do in one moment of obedience. Don't underestimate what he can flip in your favor while you're sleeping. Because the same God who parted seas, shut lions' mouths, and raised dead things back to life is the same God writing your story. And he didn't bring you this far to embarrass you or leave you hanging. He brought you this far to prove that he is still the God of sudden reversals, sudden breakthroughs, sudden clarity, sudden answers, sudden blessings, sudden direction, and sudden peace. And as crazy as it might sound, some of the things you've been praying for are already done in the spirit. They're just waiting for the right moment to drop into your reality. And guess what? That moment is closer than you realize, because when God says now, nothing on earth and nothing in hell can say not yet. And that's why your battle's intensified recently, because the enemy always fights hardest right before the blessing breaks. And even though you might have felt tired, drained, confused, or stretched thin, you still didn't quit. And that right there is the evidence that you're ready, because quitting was the old you, giving up was the old chapter, backing down was the old season. But this new season requires a version of you that says, yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm stretched, but I'm still here. I'm still believing. I'm still moving forward. And God honors that kind of faith, that quiet, stubborn, I'm not letting go type of faith. And tonight, God is whispering over your life, because you held on, I'm about to show out. And if you think I'm just talking for hype, pause and look at your life. The stuff that fell apart, it wasn't punishment, it was realignment. The people who left, they were removed because you were worthless. They were removed because they were not assigned to your promise. The opportunities that closed, they didn't reject you. God redirected you. The delays you hated, they weren't blocking you. They were protecting you from walking into something unprepared. And when you look back later, you're going to say, man, God was guiding me the whole time. I just didn't realize how strategic he was. Because the thing about God is that he never wastes pain, never wastes confusion, never wastes disappointment. He uses everything. And he turns every piece of brokenness into something beautiful, something meaningful, something powerful, something that carries purpose that you couldn't have received any other way. And chosen one, I need you to breathe right here, because what's coming next in your life won't even feel like the same story. It's about to feel like you switched chapters, switched timelines, switched atmospheres, switched anointings. And the weight that's been sitting on your chest, that lifts tonight. The fog that's been clouding your clarity, that clears tonight. The spiritual heaviness, that breaks tonight, because the reversal doesn't start with something changing around you. It starts with something changing in you. And I promise you, that shift is happening as you listen, because God's presence is moving through these words to remind you that he hasn't forgotten you for even 1 second. And even when you were quiet, even when you were numb, even when you were overthinking everything, he was still working, still plotting your breakthrough, still steering your steps, still aligning the right people, still blocking the wrong ones, still shaping the opportunities, still preparing what you haven't even imagined yet. And I'm telling you with all confidence, tonight marks the start of the season where things finally begin to make sense.
And this is the part that hits different, because when God
God begins to make things make sense, it's not just the good stuff that suddenly becomes clear. It's the painful stuff too. And you're going to look back at moments that almost broke you and say, oh, that's why that had to happen. Because the setup for a sudden reversal usually looks like everything is going in the opposite direction. But God loves flipping the script in a way that leaves no doubt it was Him. And you're about to experience that only God could have done this moment. That moment where you go from overlooked to seen, from doubted to celebrated, from forgotten to favored, from waiting to walking in the thing you prayed for. And bro, sis, listen. It doesn't matter what you lost. It doesn't matter who left. And it doesn't matter how long it's been, because when God sends a reversal, He restores on a level that feels like you never missed anything in the first place. And I know you might be like, but God, I'm tired. And He's like, I know, but you're also chosen. And chosen people feel tired. Chosen people feel overwhelmed. Chosen people feel stretched, but chosen people also no sense to anyone watching. And that strength is in your spirit tonight, right now, as you listen to these words, because God is reminding you because you were perfect. He chose you because you were good. Because you remained open, because you kept your heart soft, even when life tried to harden you. Because you still pray, even when you don't understand. Because you still believe, even when you don't understand. Because you still show love, even when people who you ever reason not to. And God says, that kind of mercy is rare. That kind of purity is valuable. That kind of resilience is powerful. And that's why heaven has been fighting for you in ways you didn't even see, blocking attacks you didn't even feel, shutting down plots you never even heard about. Because the calling in your life is too important, too heavy, too needed for this world for God to let anything stop. And this is where the reversal comes real. God doesn't just change situations, He changes timelines. And when He speeds things up, He speeds them up fast, like opportunities out of nowhere, clarity out of nowhere, open doors out of nowhere, favor out of nowhere. And yes, even blessings that show up so quickly they feel unreal. And I know you've heard people say your blessing is coming 100 times, but this time it's different because the shift is already happening in your spirit as you hear this. And your spirit always knows before your life catches up. And I'm telling you, something in your life is about to accelerate so fast, it's going to shock the people who counted you out. It's going to confuse the people who thought God was done with you. And it's going to inspire the people who always believed in you. Because God is not just rewriting your story, He's revealing who you really were the whole time. The version of you that was buried under stress, under doubt, under heartbreak, under fear, under disappointment. And tonight, God is pulling that version of you back to the surface. The bold you, the focused you, the healed you, the grateful you, the spiritually awake you. And people won't even recognize you a few weeks from now because the glow you're about to walk in is different. The peace you're about to carry is different. The confidence you're about to operate in is different. And the blessings you're about to receive are different. Because this isn't a season of small victories, this is a season of divine reversals. And when God reverses things, He doesn't return you to where you used to be. He launches you into a place you've never been before, a place you didn't even realize you were being prepared for. And chosen one, if you knew what God has lined up for you, you wouldn't stress another minute, you wouldn't lose another hour of sleep, you wouldn't question your worth for even a second, because the same God who saw you crying and didn't let you break is the same God who is about to bless you so deeply, you're going to cry again, but this time from gratitude, from joy, from relief, from seeing promises you almost gave up on finally come alive right in front of you. And as wild as it sounds, some of your biggest blessings are going to begin quietly, subtly, without warning, and then suddenly expand into something massive, something undeniable, something so obviously divine that you'll be like, yep, that had God's fingerprints all over it. And I need you to hear this part with your whole heart. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked by God. You are not disqualified. You are simply being positioned for something bigger than you expected. And tonight is the night that the positioning turns into activation.
And activation is the moment where everything you survive stops being random and finally reveals its purpose, because God never wastes a season, never wastes a tear, never wastes a struggle, and everything that felt unfair, everything that felt delayed, everything that felt heavy is about to connect like pieces of a puzzle you didn't even realize you were putting together. And when it clicks, bro, sis, you're going to feel that rush, that "Oh my God, now I get it" moment, and it's going to hit your spirit so hard you might have to sit down for a second. Because divine clarity isn't soft, it's powerful, it's overwhelming, it's life-changing. And God is about to release that clarity into your life in a way that feels like someone turned the lights on in a room you've been stumbling around in for years. And the craziest part is that even the people who underestimated you are going to have to admit that they misjudged you, because God is about to showcase what He placed inside you in a way that cannot be denied, ignored, or questioned. And you won't even have to defend yourself, explain yourself, or fight for validation. The fruit of this next season will speak for you. Your glow will speak for you. Your breakthrough will speak for you. Your peace will speak for you. Your elevation will speak for you. And people will look at you like, how did you bounce back like that? How did you level up so fast? How did you get that opportunity? How did you heal from something that would have broken most people? And every time your answer will be the same: God. Because when God steps into a story, He doesn't just fix things. He transforms them, rebuilds them, multiplies them, and breathes life into places that felt dead. And you're going to notice this shift first in your emotions, because the heaviness you've been carrying is going to start lifting even before the blessings show up. And that's how you'll know you're entering a reversal season, because God always brings peace before He brings manifestation, peace before promotion, peace before elevation. And He's giving you that peace right now, not because everything is perfect, but because everything is aligning, and the alignment is happening fast, faster than you expect, faster than you've seen in years. And the doors that are about to open for you aren't regular doors. They're timed doors, destiny doors, doors that only open in certain seasons. And this is your season, chosen one. Your season to rise, to recover, to rebuild, to restart, to reconnect with your purpose, and to walk in what God already whispered over your life long before you even knew who you were. And I know you've been feeling that internal pull lately, that sense that something big is coming even though nothing external has changed yet. And that feeling is spiritual confirmation, because your spirit senses the movement of heaven before your eyes see the evidence. And that's why you've been restless, why you've been reflective, why you've been feeling like something is shifting inside you, because God has been preparing your spirit for what your life is about to receive. And let me tell you this, some of the opportunities you thought you missed are coming back around in a better form, in better timing, and better alignment. And God kept them from you before, not because you weren't worthy, but because the version of you back then wasn't equipped to carry them. But the version of you right now, oh, you're ready. You're battle tested. You're spiritually sharper, mentally stronger, emotionally deeper, and more aligned with God's voice than ever. And you're walking into this new season with a level of maturity and wisdom that only comes from surviving storms that were meant to wipe you out. And that's why God is trusting you with more responsibility, more favor, more visibility, more influence, more spiritual authority, because He watched you stay kind when you were hurt, stay humble when you were overlooked, stay faithful when you were uncertain, and stay obedient when you were tired. And heaven never ignores faith like that, never ignores endurance like that, never ignores a heart that chooses God even when life feels unfair. And tonight, God is saying, because you stayed with me, I'm about to stay with you in ways you've never seen before. And I promise you, this next chapter of your life is going to feel like a reward for the seasons you didn't quit in, because blessings don't always show up when you pray. Sometimes they show up when you persevere. And chosen one, you persevered.
And that perseverance is the very reason heaven is opening the floodgates over your life, because God doesn't overlook people who keep showing up even when no one is clapping for them, people who keep believing even when their circumstances don't match their faith, people who keep trying even when they feel drained. And you've been doing all of that quietly, privately, in moments when you didn't tell anyone what you were fighting. Yet God saw it. Every tear you cried into your pillow, every prayer you whispered half asleep, every time you held your tongue instead of reacting, every time you chose peace over revenge, every time you kept going when your mind told you to stop. And that's why your blessing is not going to be regular. It's going to be reward level, pressed down, shaken together, running over level. And the crazy thing is that your life is about to shift so suddenly that the people around you won't even have time to process it. Because God is not moving slowly in this season. He's moving quickly, decisively, unmistakably. And the stuff you thought would take months is going to take days. The things you thought were impossible are going to start happening naturally. And the situations you thought were permanent are going to flip overnight, because the reversal has already begun. Not next week, not next month, tonight, right now, in this very moment. And that's why your spirit is reacting the way it is. That's why you feel that fire in your chest, that weird mix of peace and anticipation.
because something in you knows this message isn't just words, it's confirmation, it's activation, it's divine timing. It's God telling you, you're stepping into what I promised. And I'm telling you, chosen one, when God activates a season, nothing can deactivate it. Not a person, not a setback, not a mistake, not the enemy, not even you, because God's will is stronger than your past, stronger than your fears, stronger than your doubts, stronger than your circumstances. And this season is not going to require you to chase anything. Blessings are about to start chasing you. Favor is about to start locating you. Opportunities are about to start finding you. And people are about to start remembering your name in rooms you've never even walked into, because God is sending alignment, divine connections, supernatural strategies, and timely breakthroughs that are going to push you forward faster than you've ever moved in your life. And listen, I know life taught you to expect disappointment, taught you to brace for impact, taught you to lower your expectations so you wouldn't get hurt again, but God is teaching you something new now. Expect goodness, expect favor, expect miracles, expect joy, expect elevation, expect peace, because God is shifting your mindset from survival mode to overflow mode, from defense to destiny, from pain to purpose, from waiting to walking. And as wild as it might feel, you deserve what's coming. You deserve restoration. You deserve blessings. You deserve open doors, because you paid for this season with battles no one saw, struggles no one understood, nights no one comforted you through, and faith no one applauded. And God is too good to let that go unnoticed. And I need you to catch this. The people who doubted you are about to witness the very thing they said would never happen for you. And the people who betrayed you are about to realize they let go of someone God was elevating. And the people who underestimated you are about to see God's favor crown you in ways they can't ignore. And you're not going to gloat, you're not going to flex, you're not going to say, I told you so, because your blessing won't be about revenge. It'll be about redemption, about God proving his faithfulness in your life, about God restoring everything the enemy tried to steal. And trust me, nothing hits harder than a blessing that shows up after a battle that almost broke you, because that kind of blessing feels holy, feels personal, feels intentional, feels tailor-made, and God is preparing those very kinds of blessings for you. Blessings that feel like healing, blessings that feel like peace, blessings that feel like justice, blessings that feel like joy, blessings that feel like coming home to yourself after years of wandering. And you're going to wake up one morning soon and realize the battle you thought would destroy you actually prepared you, strengthened you, refined you, and made you ready for the things you once prayed for but didn't feel qualified to receive. And now you're stepping into the version of you that God saw all along. And chosen one, I need you to get ready, because the reversal is not just coming, it's unfolding. And the unfolding of this reversal is going to be so wild, so undeniable, so orchestrated with precision that you're going to have moments where you literally stop and say, hold up, God, is this really happening? Because everything that once felt stuck is about to move. Everything that felt delayed is about to accelerate. Everything that felt confusing is about to make perfect sense. And everything that felt heavy is about to become light. And you're going to walk into this season with a kind of confidence you've never had before. Not arrogance, not ego, but Godfidence, that deep inner knowing that you're not walking alone, that heaven is backing you, that angels are assigned to you, that the path in front of you is already cleared, and that what's meant for you isn't up for debate, negotiation, or competition. Because when God calls something yours, it's yours. Period. Point blank. End of discussion. And let me tell you this, the anointing on your life is about to get loud. Not loud in a dramatic way, but loud in the sense that it becomes obvious, noticeable, impossible to overlook, because you've been walking around with hidden potential, hidden gifting, hidden strength, hidden wisdom, hidden fire, and God is about to uncover it all, revealing the real you, the called you, the chosen you, the powerful you, the disciplined you, the favored you. And the amazing part is that this season is not going to feel forced. You're not going to have to fight your way into rooms. You're not going to have to beg for attention. You're not going to have to push doors open with your bare hands. Doors are going to open for you. Conversations are going to shift toward you. Favor is going to flow around you. Because when God breathes on your name, everything connected to your purpose starts aligning, like puzzle pieces locking into place without you even trying. And I know you felt alone lately, but that loneliness was not abandonment. It was separation for elevation, because God had to pull you away from noise, from distractions, from draining people, from the wrong voices, from the wrong environments, so he could sharpen your discernment, strengthen your identity, and make sure you recognized his voice clearly when he started shifting you into the next chapter. And that's why certain relationships faded, certain people fell off, certain connections dissolved, not because something was wrong with you, but because something bigger was being prepared for you. And the truth is, some people couldn't come with you even if they wanted to, because their presence would have contaminated the blessing God is sending. And the next level of your life requires purity, pure intentions, pure energy, pure decisions, pure alignment, and God has been cleaning your circle so your blessing arrives into a safe environment. And chosen one, this next line is going to hit your soul. You didn't lose anything necessary, not one person, not one opportunity, not one moment, because anything that left was not meant to remain, and anything that remains is meant to grow with you, and anything that is coming is divinely tailor-made for your destiny. And that's why the reversal is going to feel peaceful, not stressful, because nothing that belongs to you will require chaos to maintain. And the blessings God sends in this season are going to feel like they fit you perfectly, like they were designed with your name written on them from the beginning. And people are going to look at your breakthrough and say, wow, that came out of nowhere. But you'll know the truth. It didn't come out of nowhere. It came out of prayer, out of obedience, out of spiritual pressure, out of endurance, out of tears, out of character growth, and out of trust in God, even when you didn't understand what he was doing. And let me speak this over you with authority. God is restoring your joy, not temporary happiness, not momentary excitement, but deep-rooted soul-level joy that makes you wake up with purpose and go to sleep with peace. And he's restoring your vision, giving you clarity so sharp that you'll feel like your spiritual eyesight leveled up overnight. And he's restoring your momentum, the motivation that got buried under exhaustion, the fire that dimmed under stress, the confidence that cracked under disappointment. And you're going to feel that fire again, that hunger, that ambition, that drive. And you're going to move differently, speak differently, think differently, make decisions differently, because God is upgrading your mindset to match the future he's calling you into. And you're not walking into this next season timid, second-guessing yourself, or waiting for permission. You're walking in bold, steady, confident, grateful, aligned, and ready, because the version of you that doubted everything is gone. The version that questioned your worth is gone. The version that settled is gone. And God is replacing all of that with clarity, confidence, and authority. And this is why the reversal is happening so suddenly, because you're finally in the spiritual posture to receive what God has been preparing the whole time. And chosen one, hear me. This is not the climax of your story. This is only the beginning of your rise.
And the rise that's coming is not quiet, not subtle, not something you'll have to convince yourself is real. It's going to be loud, in the best way, undeniable, visible, the kind of rise that even people who don't like you will have to respect, because when God elevates someone, he does it publicly after shaping them privately. And you've been in that private shaping season longer than most people realize, longer than even you realized, because half the time you thought you were just going through it, God was actually training you, stretching you, sharpening you, developing endurance, depth, and emotional intelligence you didn't have before. And all of it is about to be used in ways that not only bless you, but bless others through you, because this reversal isn't just about your personal breakthrough. It's about your purpose, your calling, your assignment, the people you're meant to impact, and the legacy you're meant to build. And maybe no one told you this yet, so listen closely. You're meant to lead. You're meant to influence. You're meant to carry light into places other people can't reach. And that's why your process was more painful, more intense, more confusing, because leaders are refined differently, chosen ones are developed differently, and people with heavy spiritual assignments always go through crushing seasons before they walk in glory. But here's the part that's going to make your heart jump. You're done with the crushing. You're done with the stripping. You're done with the breaking down phase. And now you're entering the building up phase, the increase phase, the restoration phase. The God is about to show out in your life phase, the supernatural favor phase. And let me tell you, when God builds you back up, he builds you stronger, wiser, wealthier in spirit, richer in peace, fuller in joy, and more aligned with with purpose than ever. And that's exactly what's happening right now, because this reversal is not just changing your situation, it's changing you, your identity, your belief system, your confidence, your habits, your focus, your standards, and your understanding of what you deserve. And when you start believing you deserve better, everything around you starts shifting to match that belief. And that's why certain people can't access you anymore. Certain patterns can't follow you anymore. And certain environments can't hold you anymore, because God elevated your spirit first so that your life could follow. And chosen one, if you could see the spiritual realm right now, you would see angels clearing paths, enemies retreating, old cycles breaking, generational curses losing their grip, and blessings being released that were held up for years because the timing wasn't right. But now the timing is right. And that's why everything feels different in your spirit even before it looks different in your reality, because your spirit always shifts first. And then the physical world catches up. And believe me, it's about to catch up fast, faster than you've ever experienced, because this is a season of divine acceleration. And acceleration means God redeems time, restores years, multiplies progress, and moves you further in a month than you moved in the last 3 years. And when that acceleration hits your life, you're going to be like, man, where was all of this before? And God's going to whisper, waiting for you to be ready, because blessings come freely, but destiny requires readiness. And child of God, you are ready now. Completely ready, spiritually ready, mentally ready, emotionally ready, ready in a way you weren't before. And that readiness is the key that just unlocked the reversal that has already started moving toward you. And I need you to notice something. The heaviness that used to crush you isn't crushing you anymore. The old fears don't have the same power. The old voices don't shake you the same way. The old wounds don't sting the same, because you've grown, you've healed, you've matured, and God has fortified you so deeply that nothing you face in this next chapter will break you, because you're built different now, built with experience, built with wisdom, built with faith that's been tested, built with patience that's been sharpened, built with resilience that was formed through fire. And God is proud of you. Yes, proud of you. Proud of how you carried battles you didn't ask for. Proud of how you stayed kind in seasons that weren't kind to you. Proud of how you didn't give up when giving up would have been easier. And that's why He's rewarding you now, because blessings aren't random. They're recognition, they're spiritual acknowledgement of everything you endured while staying aligned. And this reversal is heaven's way of saying, I saw you, I heard you, and now it's your time. And chosen one, your time is not coming, your time is here.